Remember, I consider myself an amateur investor still. I'm not a financial advisor. Since the current buzzword going around seems to be OBV, I figured I'd give my take on it. On balance volume, there's obviously pros and cons to all sorts of indicators, but you want to make sure that you're always interpreting it correctly, at least, right? There's a little bit of a, you know, hoopla going around a certain ticker because of certain data being pushed. And I mean, here it is, and we can look at it. And everyone just does this. And they like what they see. Right? And I mean, normally this would, if this was normal movement in a normal stock, sure, but it's not. And that's where we run into the problem, because OBV is cumulative, so it suffers from a couple problems. It can grow to be very high or very low when changes in the volume flow may become like too small to be noticed on overall. There's intraday that you can look at as well. I think the reason people go to OBV is because it's one of the easier one to understand, but again, if used incorrectly, then you might be tricking yourself. So the overall looks nice on this one, but I'd like to bring up a different one. And I like sometimes the oscillator type views, differing from like a baseline. And if you notice, it still shows roughly, the same data here, but it differs here a lot. I think the reason why is because the original OBV, I have a couple notes I'll share with you guys, but 1963, Granville. Things have changed since then. He described it as spring being wound tightly. If volume is increased, then you're going to end up with this significant change in price eventually. The problem is he sometimes, in some of the cases, used the word always. So he was always convinced that the flux in volume direction displayed by balance volume will always happen before price action shifts in reverse directions. It can help in predicting a lot of reversals, but it is known to have a lot of false signals. That's why I used a different indicator. And obviously when you're looking at a more refined view, smaller slices, OBV isn't meant to be used in smaller slices, but at least you can get maybe, I guess, a little bit more accurate picture. And there are other indicators that you can combine with this, like Chaikin. Basically the baseline here, and above buying, below selling. So obviously this is two large shifts of buying before the spike, right? Buying and then into selling. Buying, same thing. But this one you can see it still gives off a little bit of data that might be a little bit more in tune with what a meme stock is doing right now, as opposed to the basic OBV. And I've noticed people tend to favor this one whenever they're screenshotting things, because I don't know, maybe it stokes their confirmation bias that it's higher and it's maintained being high, and some of them even like looking at the numbers on the side. But when you're looking at OBV, you shouldn't actually be using like the numbers shouldn't matter. It's always about the line. It can be messed with. Large spike in volume, single day, can throw off the indicator for quite a while. I mean, we saw that in January. All these spikes here. So could have thrown it off here, and it's been thrown off since. It's also been suffering from meme issues, right? Aside from that, there have been things that have been changing since this was built in 63, which is there's a lot of spoofing that happens. Fake orders and canceling them right before an execution. Massive spike in trading volume can throw off the indicator for a while, like we just spoke about. Another one is it doesn't always take into account when it's very small moves, like the closing price are just a couple cents in difference. So I would always use I'd offset it with a lagging indicator of some sort, like an EMA or SMA. This is sometimes known as a leading momentum indicator, so sometimes this is known to be a predictor. I'll leave these notes up for a little bit. Obviously these are sourced from other places. If you guys want the sources, let me know, but I figured I'd take a look at this and show you guys what the indicators I use are, because I see a lot of blind reading into this going on. I'll also shoot 2 Python links that I have concerning OBV. Yeah, I don't know if any questions. Critique would help, like anything that you guys see that I'm doing wrong, obviously let me know. I think it's known to have false signals, especially right now that the meme stock is happening. Like I said, instead of using the raw OBV, I tend to I'll pull it up again, which is, it's an oscillator. It's the Lazy Bear. I like his work sometimes. They're well-built scripts. Obviously, this isn't as impressive of a screenshot to show off to people, so maybe that's why. Yeah. More impressive than this, right? So I'll just leave it here for now. Like I said, critique is welcome. I'll give you guys the links I have for the Python stuff on OBV. Happy trading, everyone.